In this video, I will be analyzing the events that occur in Dream's final Minecraft Speedrunner vs 3 Hunters video, the grand finale. I will be praising and criticizing Dream and the Hunters for certain decisions that they make throughout the game. I will also be providing alternatives that each side could have done instead during certain scenarios that I think would have benefited them even more. Let's head straight into it. So first of all, the game begins more formally than the others that have occurred before. This is probably done to hype up the video for being the final 1v3 that Dream will be doing, but it also impacted the game quite a bit in my opinion. Due to the fact that Dream does not get a head start whatsoever, the Hunters were on his tail right from the start. In fact, if Dream were to get a head start like the video before, the early game would be a lot different in my opinion. After a short run, Dream finds both a village and a ruined portal. Here, Dream chose to go to the ruined portal for the chest that spawns beside it. And I think that was the right decision, even though that the iron from the blacksmith of the village gave the Hunters a huge head start. It is unfortunate that Dream got really unlucky with the drops from the ruined portal. There could have been golden tools or an enchanted golden apple, but Dream got none of it. However, if Dream had gone to the blacksmith instead, it would be very likely for the Hunters to combo him inside the small room inside the blacksmith. This is because he had no head start from the beginning of the game. Even if he got some iron, getting constantly knocked back by 3 players in a small space is a death sentence. Dream then obtains hay bales while the Hunters are grabbing iron from the blacksmith. He uses the idea from his previous video, where hay bales reduce fall damage, to outplay the Hunters in the mountains. He manages to lose the Hunters as they did not have time to make a water bucket. The Hunters, however, are even better at the game this time. They were more organized and knew more strategies than before, so they decided to give the resources to one person, who was Sapnap, and sent Sapnap to chase Dream when he had a huge gear advantage. This was very effective in stopping Dream from obtaining more materials early. So here is honestly something that will be overlooked. Even though spinning in circles may seem like something that is very silly, it is actually quite an effective strategy if done right. This is because a player's field of view is limited when sitting in a boat. Bad and George were in boats, so if George tried to hit Dream while Bad was trying to follow Dream in circles, George would not be able to hit him. Dream manages to get out of the chase and buy himself a bit of time. He uses this time to mine when, to his surprise, he finds diamonds. However, here I am unsure what Dream was thinking. He placed down 2 furnaces to smelt iron for a pickaxe, so that he can mine the diamond ores, but he only uses 1 of them. He could have saved the time equal to 1 smelted item, which is 10 seconds, and obtained all 4 diamonds. Honestly, I think he fumbled here because he was too nervous about the Hunters digging to him. So he blanked out and forgot to use the second furnace entirely, even though I am pretty sure that he had the intention of using it when he placed it. Dream does manage to snag 2 of the 4 diamonds he found when he loops back around the cave, which is enough to make a diamond sword, so I think it was still probably worth it. The Hunters did take advantage of this and took their time to gather resources, as they had the opportunity in the huge cave that Dream found and the abandoned mineshaft system. Here, a really small thing that Dream does is take the lava and obtain the achievement, so that when he actually chooses to go to the Nether, the Hunters wouldn't actually know until he is already in the Nether. It is a pretty good strategy that Dream should be using at all times to keep his actions less predictable to the Hunters, which can buy Dream a lot of time throughout the game. Dream then tries to ambush the Hunters with lava while they were preparing resources. He underestimated their power as he thought that the Hunters were bluffing the numbers of diamonds they had, so he was super surprised when Sapnap emerged from the tunnel that he dug out with a diamond chestplate. Dream realized that he had no choice but run, so he bolted out of the mineshaft. Dream manages to get out as the Hunters gave up trying to go for him. The Hunters use this time that Dream is using to run away to gather more resources and enchant their items. They also decide to build their own Nether portal instead of using Dream's, which is actually a really good idea. Once they see Dream's Nether achievement, the Hunters will be able to go to the Nether as well and track him down there. This saves them a lot of time because distances in the Nether are 1/8 of the distances in the overworld. So even if Dream traveled 1,000 blocks out, the hunters will only need to travel 125 blocks in the Nether to catch up. This is because compasses now work in the Nether, which means they do not have to be following Dream to make sure that they do not lose him. It was interesting to see though that the Nether portals managed to link up, and the hunters didn't even need to travel that far to find Dream. Dream then pulls off a maneuver that I didn't even think was possible, traversing lava by placing bows beneath herself and jumping on them. He then points out that he saw the strategy performed on Reddit recently, and this just shows how important it is to stay up to date with any new news surrounding Minecraft if you want to continue being the best. Frequently visiting these Minecraft forums would help you learn many strategies that you didn't think were possible before. Every single one of Dream's videos that occurred in 1.16 all involved bartering because it is frankly an extremely overpowered mechanic in the game. Getting ender pearls without needing to go hunting for endermen or spending huge amounts of time on wood and sticks for emeralds. So here Dream arrives at the fortress that the hunters found earlier. He finds out that the blaze spawners have been broken, so he tries killing stray blazes instead. However, I find it very interesting that 22 minutes and 13 seconds into the video, Dream doesn't see the hunters in the background as he is killing the blaze, right here on a cobblestone platform in the distance. Especially after when he is killing the skeleton, there was obvious cobblestone in the background that was placed there before he arrived, and I don't know why he didn't take any precautions. Bad even reacted, telling the others, "Do you see what I see?" Dream then finds himself coming face to face with the hunters. He manages to kill George in the fight. Even though the hunters had the advantage in every way, they misplayed this due to their bad coordination. Both Sapnap and Bad saw Dream trying to kill George, so they tried to help George. However, what I think happened was that both of them were too scared to hit Dream because he was moving too fast, and they were afraid of hitting each other unnecessarily. So when they got close, they both chose to shield themselves and waited for the other to hit Dream instead. This resulted in an awkward situation where they just watched Dream pummel George. Dream then escapes with the ender pearls he had from bartering. He obtained a total of 24 ender pearls, which just shows how insanely overpowered bartering is. Bartering will however get nerfed in 1.16.2, and I think that this would affect Dream's future videos a lot. Also, while using Dream's debug screen, you can see that Dream is now using Fabric Mod Loader with mods instead of Optifine to boost his game performance. He is most likely using the new mod called Sodium that is just released. If you want to boost your own Minecraft gameplay smoothness and frames per second, Sodium is really good at that. For me personally, I was able to double my frame rates when playing from around 60 to 70 frames per second when generating new terrain with Optifine to 130 to 150. A chase then occurs for several minutes. After 3 minutes, Dream was finally able to buy himself some time by faking the fact that he was digging down, where in reality, he ender pearled away. This was able to confuse the hunters a bit. I do find it interesting though, that Dream doesn't put a water bucket in his hotbar, an item that is a staple for manhunt games. He could have used it to both slow the hunters and reduce the damage that he takes from falling. I also don't understand why he chose to throw an ender eye when he was surrounded by hunters. This is a very punishable mistake, as the hunters can use the eyes to go through the end portal, and that is exactly what happens later in the video. Dream tries to pull off the end crystal trap again, but the hunters are now a lot smarter and react faster to the traps. Dream then escapes and runs away, and the hunters take advantage of this time to find the stronghold and go to the end. In one of my previous videos, I explained that trapping the end spawn platform would mean that Dream would lose automatically if done correctly with lava. However, the hunters did not do this, and instead made a platform where they would surround Dream shooting him. This gave Dream the opportunity to outplay. Dream uses this time to kill creepers and sand for TNT that he can then use. Basically, Dream's strategy was to drop TNT into the end portal, like an end portal TNT cannon. This works because prime TNT blocks are no longer blocks in Minecraft. They become entities. Entities such as mobs, the player, and items that are dropped on the ground are able to go through both the Nether and the end portal, which is why when the ignited TNT fell through the portal, they teleported into the end dimension. He also staggered the multiple blocks of TNT into the portal with different fuse times, as the ones that would blow up first would spread out the other blocks of TNT to blow up the blocks around the platform. This manages to kill all 3 hunters as they fall into the void. Dream then takes the win. I do think that if the hunters used lava to trap the end platform and had a more elaborate trap, they could have won. Not only because Dream would have a hard time getting through the lava, but also because lava is immune to TNT explosions. Even if Dream had a fire resistance potion, he would be so slow inside the lava that he would not be able to get away from any bed explosions that the hunters can place beside the platform. I don't know if the hunters did this on purpose or if the idea of having an almost surefire way to defeat Dream got to their heads, but I think that they really trolled this trap. Overall, in my honest opinion, I do not think that Dream was able to flex his muscles as much in this video, and I think that he was trying way too hard to pull certain seemingly impossible strategies off instead of focusing on his core gameplay. He didn't pay too much attention to the fine details throughout the video. The hunters were also a lot more organized, had plans formed before the game, and were more knowledgeable about how to react in different scenarios, so it was much harder for Dream to outplay them. All in all though, from the standpoint of a viewer, I feel like this video was a bit rushed as the editing wasn't as on point as the previous ones. There were instances where voices were just cut off as Dream skipped to the next scene. There was also a lot of screaming and exaggerated reactions, which means that this video's quality is just subpar relative to the others. Of course, this doesn't mean that this video was a bad video. In fact, it was a very entertaining video, especially with Dream's new library of music that he uses. But I think Dream could have done a lot better with the footage that he had. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. It only takes around 2 seconds and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed.